Baby, what is you doing? What are y'all doing? Who told you this? Okay, no, but seriously, you guys, the one thing that I will say with color correction that I really feel people have confused is the amount that you need to use, the way that you're supposed to use it. I think the colors. Okay, so I guess I think everything is a mess. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, there's so much. Okay. What I just want to start out by doing is showing you my technique. I have 20 or 30 color correcting videos on YouTube. I'll actually put some in the bottom bar for different brands, different techniques, different years, different things like that. I really wanted to come because sometimes I'll go out and I'm seeing people and color correction should not show through your makeup. It shouldn't, there's no reason for there to be a mask of color corrector and then a mask of foundation and then a mask of concealer. I think somewhere along the lines, people got confused as to whether they should do a whole layer or I don't know. Because honestly, the way I do color corrector is that I blend it into the area of discoloration so that the colors can cancel each other out. The orange can cancel out the blue, gray, or purple tone. There doesn't need to be a whole baby, what is you doing? What are y'all doing? I think what happens is we have a wonderful influence of male makeup artists, transgender makeup artists, and they have a technique for covering beards and mustache. And I think women adapted that to everyday discoloration around your eyes and around your mouth. And I'm just like, okay. So basically, depending on the area that you need to color correct, depending on the color of the discoloration, then that's the color corrector you use. I will have a chart somewhere in this video so you can see what color blemish or discoloration corresponds with what particular color corrector. In this video, I'm going to address darkness and dark skin or darker skin tones, blue, browns, gray, under the eye, around the mouth, lip, neck area. And the color correctors that you use to address that is peach. If you look in the color wheel, the opposing colors are the colors that you're looking to cancel out. Now, I don't have a whole bunch of darker hyperpigmentation, but I do have areas that are like lacking pigmentation, and then the orange comes and substitutes for that lack and balances out the color. If it were a dark color, it would come and balance it out and make that darker color appear to be the same tone as my healthy skin. Okay, so the color corrector that I'm starting out with is from LA Girl Pro, and it's their orange color corrector. Another thing I want to say is sometimes I think the color corrector that people are using may just be a little bit too dark for them. Maybe the blemish that you need to correct is not that dark, but it does need that tone. So I have orange and peach here, and I also have yellow in my hand. You can use these to play with the intonation to make sure that it's benefiting your skin tone in particular. I'm going to take a little bit of the orange and a little bit of peach and mix them together because my under eye area is just really not that dark. And the center of my face is very warm, yet I still have areas that are missing pigmentation and need to be balanced out with some orange and peachy tone. And that's what we're doing with color correction. It's not color masking. And I'm not here to clown anybody because I didn't always have this knowledge, but you have to learn it, and you have to do what makes sense, not just do what's being done because it's popular. Like, this has to make sense and it has to be beneficial to you. When you want to learn makeup, come to someone who wants to teach you, not just entertain. And you can see right away, I'm going to take some of that color off my brush, that it will go in and eat up the color. Same thing in this area. And I'm just gonna spread this through the center of my mid face. And I'm just gonna dab it out with some orange. This is a really good, quick way Look. Just by tapping in with some of the orange from the back of my hand with the correctors that I've used, it's going in and pretty much mimicking my skin tone because those were the colors missing. And I used a little bit of that peach just because I wanted to give it a little bit of a highlighting because I'm going to put foundation over this. So it's going to elevate the center of my face and it's going to come across very natural. And I'm just showing you how it goes in and eats up the color, and you don't have to have this huge mask. You don't even really have to put foundation on top of proper color correction. If you were red and you took a little bit of green and properly color corrected, you wouldn't have to put a color on top of it. That's one simple technique. You have I have some little dark acne pigmentation, and I'm just going to take that orange because it's a little bit darker and take it by itself and just tap it out. In the top of my forehead, I have some kind of light, kind of dark areas. I'm gonna go and tap it out. Full face of color corrector and you can just barely tell. The next step from here would be to put your foundation on top. And I'm also using LA Girl foundation for that. I'm using dark chocolate mixed with toffee. I don't have to mix. I would be toffee pretty much on its own, but the sun is still shining here in Southern Cali, so a tiny bit deeper. And from here, you can see that none of the discoloration shines through. And none of the color correction shines through either. None of the under eye discoloration shines through. None of the around the mouth discoloration shines through, and has a tiny bit of a natural highlight from that little bit of peach that I mixed in. Okay, so another thing that goes along with color correction, highlighting, contouring, and concealing that I think is getting away from people who are new to makeup is I watch a lot of makeup videos on Instagram especially, and I feel like what's happening is people are stretching their highlighter all the way across their face and then putting on even more makeup to bring the contour in, when I really think if you just start out with a more controlled, more precise game plan for your highlighter, working in a smaller area, you'll get a much better result. I've been guilty of this too, taking my highlighting concealer and bringing it all the way over here. That is making your face super wide, and then you're putting on like the contour and it's making your face look super muddy and super heavy. So as you can see, I'm working in a smaller space and I'm gonna blend it out a tiny bit more, maybe to my mid cheek. and I'm working with a tiny brush. And I really think that, I mean, I know we know this, and when we are on our game all the way, we do this, but if we're thinking critically about it all the time, we're gonna get so much more success from our makeup, and makeup won't get such a bad rap, and you can get the results that you're looking for. You can highlight your face, you can have super highlight cheekbones, perfect skin, color corrected, no blemishes showing through, and it still look really neat and elegant and well blended. And then blend that right up without it coming out a whole mile. And don't be afraid to take your brush. If you have a towel, sometimes you can use your arm and wipe it off so you're not putting so much product onto your face. Unless you need that amount or really, really want that amount. But if you're being conscious about it, you probably don't need or want that amount. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is go in with a clean, fluffy brush and diffuse all my edges. It's gonna blend it out a tiny bit more. It's going to remove any excess makeup. It's just gonna really press everything in and make everything look seamless. You'll notice that I didn't highlight my chin. I really don't need to highlight my chin, but what I will do to balance everything out and keep everything kind of copacetic when it comes to the balance, because you see like my forehead's lit, my cheekbones are lit. You'll notice that my chin is not, and it doesn't need to be because I have a big head. I will take a color that's not quite the highlight color and do just right there, only so the trend is consistent around my face of being highlight. Not gonna bring it down all the way down my chin because I don't need to make my face look any bigger or longer. Like, I'm good, okay? And there you go. Another thing I'll say is you don't always have to wear a glittery highlighter to be popping, okay? If you have large pores, if you have very textured skin, sometimes highlighters are just not as beneficial as we think. You can get that high lit effect without compromising what you're trying to do with makeup, and that's to bring out your best features. Sometimes highlighting brings out the worst in your skin. It brings out the largeness of your pores. It brings out the texture, you know? So I went in with a really light concealer. This is Ivory, classic Ivory, light Ivory from LA Girl. I hope you guys cannot hear that loud vacuum, but I have to continue. So as you can see, this is a really highlight look without pointing to the fact that my pores are riverbeds. Now for contour, I really want to get a nice natural contour. You'll see that I contoured my nose and I used that light Ivory to highlight, just to give it a very strong highlight without it being super shimmery and obvious that my nose is not that shape. Sometimes I think highlighter gives away the tips and tricks, you know, especially if it has a glitter to it, because it's like, okay, obviously my skin does not sparkle, so this is an illusion. Sometimes when working with very natural products that don't have a shimmer, you are really pushing the envelope between having absolute seamless, beautiful skin looking makeup and then a little bit of glamour. So what I'm gonna do is I'm now going in with dark chocolate on a stippling brush. One side has foundation, the other side is clean. I'm just gonna take the side that's clean now and blend out, stippling. And I'm gonna go on the same, or on my other side. Take some down along this side, because you can always use a thinner face. Longer, maybe not. Thinner, always. Right, and then we're just going to push that up. And you want to make sure not to keep your contour too low, and that can make your face look masculine. If that's not what you're aiming for, then don't do that. Before going into bake, I'm gonna go in with this LA Girl sponge, moist. I'm gonna go in over all my makeup just to lightly blend and absorb any excess makeup before baking and doing any powder work. I'm gonna tap a little bit of this LA Girl banana powder into the top, and I'm going to get the sponge all coated in it equally and evenly. And very precisely, I'm gonna pop it under my eye and along the edge of my nose. It's really gonna help with that nose contour. I'm really gonna pile it in my mouth area. It's gonna really help keep any fine lines and wrinkles. Make sure to pull your face. Make sure it gets all those fine lines. I'm gonna let this sit for a few seconds. I'm gonna go wash my arm off, and then when I come back, we'll continue with class. Okay, so I let my face bake for a few minutes, and basically baking is just applying the powder and then letting it heat up, sink in a little bit, be absorbed and accepted by your skin. I'm gonna go in with a fluffy brush and sweep it all away. Okay, as I was brushing away the T-zone powder, I felt my brush catching still on my contours are still wet. I'm gonna go in with this powder right here from LA Girl. This is their powder in cocoa. Just gonna take it and set my contours. So now I'm quickly gonna pop on some lashes. I have the glue here. I'm waving them so the glue gets a little tacky. If you put it on and it's not tacky enough, it'll move around, slide around, and just piss you off. I'm gonna go in at an angle to make sure they sit right on my lash line. Pull it out a little bit. Make sure to get the outer and inner corner, because those are the parts that always want to lift. Just pressing that into place. The two lipsticks that I used are from LA Girl. The first one was Va Va Voom, and then the other one was Romance. Alright guys, well that's pretty much it for the video. I hope that you guys learned something. I just wanted to show you guys a few of my favorite techniques when it comes to highlighter and concealer, especially color correction. You guys know that I am the complexion scientist, and I've really been seeing some techniques lately that people are trying, and I'm feeling like makeup is coming across harder than it needs to. It's really not that hard. I hope you guys learned something. If you did and you retry some of my techniques, go ahead and tag me on social media, Instagram, add me on Snapchat, all that good stuff. All the information will be in the bottom bar. As always, I want to thank you guys for commenting, rating, and subscribing. I'll be in touch, and hopefully you'll do the same. Bye, guys.